Welcome to Spectrum News at 12, coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwabam State capital. I am Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu makes case for global finance, healthcare systems overhaul. NLC threatens mass action over rising poverty, insecurity. Plus, Trump threatens extra 10% tariff on nations siding with BRICS. Stay tuned for details of this and other stories in just a moment. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us on the news at this hour. We begin our first report with the nation's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has made a strong case for the restructuring of global governance, finance, and healthcare systems urging the international community to adopt a more inclusive and equitable framework that takes into account the realities of low income and emerging economies, especially in Africa. Speaking at the ongoing 17th BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, President Tinubu said that the existing global institutions and economic architecture are outdated and disproportionately disadvantage nations in the global south. This was contained in a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. Tinubu, who was invited to the summit by Brazilian President Luiz da Silva, joined fellow leaders from the global south and emerging economies in calling for a collective push towards more balanced and sustainable development. The Nigeria president emphasized the urgent need to address pressing global issues such as environmental degradation, the climate crisis, and growing inequalities in healthcare, all of which he said continue to impede development and prosperity across Africa. Nigeria officially became a BRICS partner country in January 2025, following the bloc's creation of the partner country category at its 16th summit in Kazan, Russia, last October. To the National Assembly, where the chairman of Senate Committee on Appropriations, Solomon Adeola, has said that the National Assembly will ensure that no part of the country is neglected in terms of development. Adeola, who disclosed this while delivering a lecture on the role of legislature in shaping a holistic budget for Nigeria at the second annual retreat of the Remo Traditional Council in Sagamu, Ogun, said the National Assembly is using the instrument of budget to ensure all zones of the country enjoy the dividends of democracy. According to him, the budget is not about numbers but a policy document targeted at serving the interest and well-being of Nigerians holistically. He further noted that without the legislative interventions, it will be difficult for some areas in the country to feel the impact of the government. To the red chambers now, where the Senate has acknowledged the court judgment on suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, while noting that it was yet to receive the certified true copy (CTC) of the judgment. The chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramodu, who made this known in a statement in Abuja, noted that the CTC of the judgment was necessary for a thorough review and informed determination of the next course of action. He stated that pending receipt of the CTC, the Senate would refrain from taking any step that might prejudice its legal position regarding Akpoti Uduaghan's suspension. Meanwhile, Adaramodu expressed the Senate's commitment to upholding the rule of law, stressing that it would act strictly by the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria upon full clarification of the court's pronouncements. In the same vein, suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has announced that she will resume legislative duties on July 8, following a court judgment nullifying her suspension. Addressing jubilant supporters, the Kogi Central lawmaker expressed her gratitude for their steadfast backing. Recall that a federal high court sitting in Abuja had ruled that her 6-month suspension from the Senate was excessive, unconstitutional, and a violation of the right of her constituents, ordering her reinstatement. On labor matters, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has threatened to embark on nationwide protest over the rising insecurity, poverty, and high cost of living crisis in the country. This is as it warned that Nigerian workers would no longer sit idly by while the nation's economy and democracy crumble. NLC, in a communique signed by its president, Joe Ajaero, and the General Secretary, Emmanuel Ogboja, said that the almost 700,000 lives lost in just a year to insecurity in Nigeria can only happen in nations at war. It also warned that when farmers could not access their lands to farm, famine becomes a looming danger. The NLC urged the government to immediately declare a state of emergency on insecurity and order security agencies to deal decisively with the criminals, especially armed headers and bandits, without mercy. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has released the results of its mop-up Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) held on Saturday, June 28. In a statement in Abuja by its Public Communications Advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, JAM confirmed that the results of 11,161 candidates who sat for the mop-up exam have been released out of the 96,838 who were scheduled to participate. JAM also provided an update on the ongoing investigation into a fake admission letter syndicate whose masterminds were arrested in 2024. The board announced that between 2024 and May 2025, it had cleared 6,903 of those flagged candidates after their rectified minor discrepancies. It added that the remaining 10,514 candidates were referred to designated police investigation officers. Now to Kenya, where Kenya's security forces have blocked all major roads leading into central Nairobi ahead of planned nationwide protest. Reports say much of the city center is deserted, with businesses shut and a heavy security presence on the streets. In a statement issued yesterday, the police said it was their constitutional duty to protect lives and property while maintaining public order. According to reports, the protests commemorate the 1990s struggle for multi-party democracy in Kenya. On the foreign scene, US President Donald Trump has warned that countries which side with the policies of the BRICS alliance that go against US interests will be hit with an extra 10% tariff. Trump has long criticized BRICS, an organization whose members include China, Russia, and India, which was designed to boost countries' international standing and challenge the US and Western Europe. Reports say a deadline for countries to agree a tariff deal with the US had been set for 9 July, but US officials now say they will begin on 1st August. Still on the foreign scene, Israel says it has launched strikes on three ports and a power plant in Houthi controlled areas of Yemen. Israel Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed that their targets included the commercial ship Galaxy Leader. Israel said the ship hijacked by the rebel group in 2023 was used to monitor maritime vessels in international waters. Meanwhile, Iran-backed Houthi military group said following the attack, the group's air defense confronted the Israeli attack by using a large number of domestically produced surface-to-air missiles. Still to come in the news, Duran joins Fenerbahce on loan from Al Nassr. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. I'm back. Many thanks for sticking with us. On our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has clarified recent speculations regarding charges related to the newly launched non-president bank verification number NRBVN platform, affirming that no hidden fees had been introduced and that the BVN enrollments for Nigerians residing within the country remains entirely free of charge. Making the clarification in Abuja, the bank's acting director of corporate communications, Hakama Ali, explained that the fee referenced in the report applies solely to the recently launched non-resident BVN NRBVN initiative, a service designed specifically for Nigerians living in the diaspora. According to her, the nominal charge of approximately $50 is not a fee for obtaining a BVN, but rather a recoverable processing cost for remote biometric and due diligence verification. The cost, she noted, covers secure identity authentication, data handling, and technology infrastructure required to support the overseas enrollment process. Still in business, the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) has generated a total sum of 28.11 billion naira in miscellaneous oil revenue tied to licensing fees and renewals within the first 5 months of 2025. The fund collected by the Commission between January and May 2025 was remitted fully to government coffers. This comes amidst the scramble by over 40 petroleum prospecting license holders to renew their exploration permits. The Commission described this category of income as revenue generated from granting approvals for various types of licenses and permits. Talking health now, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) has rejected the recent circular issued by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, which announced a reviewed structure of allowances for medical and dental officers in the federal public service. The group described the circular as not only chaotic and tone deaf, but also an affront to the professional dignity and sacrifice of doctors across the country. Reports say the circular has ignited backlash from leading medical associations, including the Nigerian Medical Association, the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, and NARD, all of whom accuse the Commission of operating in bad faith and undermining existing collective bargaining agreements. In a statement obtained by journalists and signed by NARD President Dr. Tokbe Oshundara and Secretary General Dr. Oluwashola Odumbaku, the association condemned the circular as a clumsy intervention that fails to capture the harsh realities confronting Nigerian doctors and the healthcare system at large. According to the association, the circular represents a gross misreading of the current state of the Nigerian healthcare sector and underscores the deep-rooted institutional disregard for the welfare of medical professionals. Still in health, the Association of Nigerian Private Medical Practitioners (ANPMP) has raised the alarm over an imminent healthcare collapse in the country, throwing its full weight behind the 21-day ultimatum issued to the federal government by the Nigerian Medical Association. In a statement jointly signed by the ANPMP President Dr. K. Adeshola and its Secretary General Dr. Gbadebo Adebiyi, the group expressed concern over what it described as the federal government's failure to honor long-standing agreements reached with doctors, particularly regarding remuneration and working conditions. The private practitioners called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently intervene in the ongoing dispute, caused by a circular issued by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, which the NMA has roundly condemned. They warned that if the federal government failed to address the root causes of doctors' grievances, the fallout would be devastating, not only for the public sector, but for private healthcare operators who rely on the same shrinking workforce. Now to sports, where the Super Falcons have begun their quest for a 10th Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON title on a perfect track after recording a dominant 3-0 win against Tunisia in their Group B opener. Goals from Azizat Oshoala, Rinshola Babajide, and substitute Chiwendu Ihezuo secured the Super Falcons a first ever win against Tunisia in their second meeting with the North African country at the WAFCON. Recall that the first encounter between the Super Falcons and Tunisia at the WAFCON was in the group stage at the 2008 edition, which ended nil-nil. Still in sport, Colombia striker John Duran has joined Fenerbahce on a year-long loan 6 months after moving from Aston Villa to Al Nassr in a £71 million deal. The 21-year-old scored 12 goals in 29 games for Villa last season, although only 7 appearances. I beg your pardon, although only 7 of those were league starts. After joining Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr in January, Duran scored 12 goals in 18 appearances. Duran, who has 3 goals and 17 internationals for Colombia, joined Villa from Chicago Fire for £18 million in January 2023. He scored 20 goals in 78 games for the club, but 61 of those appearances came from bench, which Duran unable to regularly displace England striker Ollie Watkins from the starting lineup. On our entertainment news, Afrobeat singer Zinoleski has revealed that he did a lot of crazy things for music. He disclosed that he absconded from home at a young age to pursue a music career. In an interview, Zinoleski explained that his Nigerian parents are often in denial when their children choose a career in the entertainment industry, as they prefer professional courses. The Kilofeshe crooner also revealed that he started his music career as a rapper before switching to singing. And that's all we have for you at this time. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I remain off for Nono Joseph. Good afternoon.